everybody, live on WLBU around the world. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. And, of course, we are streaming live on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com, so you can watch the video and follow the show there. Facebook.com/then, now, whenever. Of course, my name is Sean Michael, joined by my partner in crime, Jesse Mack.
That's right.
And how's it going, dude?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you have a good time since last time? Last time, of course, talked so much CM Punk. I mean, you could talk about CM Punk forever.
And I did.
You know,
yes.
you did forever, yes.
Yeah.
But it's of course great to be back on the show here with you. And but you know, this week we are not alone.
What?
This week? Yeah, apparently we are not alone.
Okay.
Wait, did you hear that? What was that? What was that sound? Did you hear that? I thought I did. What? Where's that even coming from?
That's Gregg's music.
Greg's here.
Gregg can't be here. Gregg was fired from the Impact Zone.
Now wait a second. Wait, where's that crazy? Where's that noise? What? All right, Greg is here. For those who can watch on video, who's watching on video right now, and if you're listening on WLBU, that of course can only mean one thing. We are joined by the third member of this triple threat match, I guess.
This is our three-man booth.
Yes,
which, as we know from wrestling, three-man booth, always a good idea.
Yeah.
Never a disaster.
Is he the Byron Saxton?
That's mean.
Byron Saxton.
He was Jonathan Coachman.
Oh, but to be honest, but I like Coach now. So
Coach actually just came back, and he's gotten much better.
I find this all very hard to believe.
Yeah, well, he was on. Okay, so
he was on
Jesse,
SportsCenter for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And so here, Jesse, why don't you give everybody a basic explanation of Gregg and what he brings to the table. I used to have a shirt, by the way, that said "I bring nothing to the table." It's one of my favorites. So Jesse, tell everybody about Gregg.
All right, I knew Gregg, 15, 20 years ago now, because we're all old people.
Yeah, about.
And he was a young and charming trickster with
sounds about right.
With a heart of blech.
Mm.
And but I loved him. He is clever.
That's weird. I thought we were talking about love stories on on the show before this.
What can I say? I inspire a lot of love.
When you got it, you got it. I feel that.
So Gregg is. We watched a lot of wrestling back then. He hasn't really watched since the mid-2000s. So I thought it would be nice to bring him in and get to bounce some of this information off of somebody who loved wrestling and now hasn't really cared about wrestling for some time.
Yeah. All right. So, well, listen. So tonight, we have not introduced you yet to Clicky Von Wheeler, but we will by the end of the show. But
that sounds wonderful.
But at the end of last week's show,
you guys are good with names.
Thank you.
Classic.
So last week we had Clicky Von Wheeler, and we spun Clicky Von Wheeler, and
just keep saying Clicky Von Wheeler. It's really gonna make it land.
Hey, by the way, time out. Where's my note sheet? I have a sheet of notes that I need for something, and you need to give it back to me.
Yeah, it's right here, isn't it?
Nope.
That's not the one?
Nope. That's not the one.
What were you looking for?
Okay. Well, so this is great radio.
Yes.
I need it for the next thing that I'm supposed to do. The new thing that I'm supposed to do.
Where did that go? Is it on the ground? It's on the ground. We throw it on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Professional outing. We're doing good.
Here we go, guys. So anyway, Clicky Von Wheeler said it again.
Wait, you mean Clicky Von Wheeler?
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot about that guy.
Yeah, Clicky Von Wheeler. We spun him last week, and we said that this week we're going to be talking about the topic that we've dubbed the gold standard, which is something where, a guy, the topic, the gold standard is, it's, when you're talking about a guy who, as a wrestler, has all of the tools, the charisma, the physical abilities, just everything you're looking for, but for whatever reason, it never really pans out. Whether he wins the title and just, the run doesn't go so well, or never quite reach the top. So tonight, for tonight's episode, Jesse thought that a great episode to do would be Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I feel like Dolph Ziggler is an essential version of this standard, if you will.
Yeah. And to continue the professionalism here, Jesse, because I was super prepared for this. Tell you what you're going to do.
Okay.
You're going to kill another 30 seconds of time for me, because I got to get something that I forgot.
Oh, my.
Hey, you know what? This is good stuff, guys.
Let's talk about Clicky Von Wheeler some more.
he's a thing, by the way. Did you know that Clicky Von Wheeler's, important?
You know what episode's going to be really good of Then, Now, Whenever? Episode 4.
Yeah,
episode 4 is going to be great.
Which one is this?
This is episode 3. We're doing a fine job. No, seriously, I think we're going to have a great time once we get all of our ducks in a row.
Yeah, and
we are getting there.
Please make sure you have a beverage of choice. As I used to tell people in the one band I was in, the more you drink, the better we sound. So. Anyway, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We want to have fun with little segments here, and there's some fun background music that's going to be going on if you're listening on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio. If you're listening, if you're watching on Facebook, you're not going to get the music behind it, but here we go. So before we get into Dolph Ziggler,
yes,
we, of course, know that wrestling is still happening. It's still a thing.
I'm afraid so.
So what we're going to do right now is tell you a little bit about this week in WWE. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for This Week in WWE. This week in WWE, Seth Rollins faced down the big dog and Big Match John in the big gauntlet match before running into a wall with Elias. The Miz, of course, looked primed to win the whole thing until Braun Strowman did big Braun things and smashed the Miztourage into a fine pasty substance. Jeff Jarrett, Double J? Jeff, J-A-double-I, you get the idea. Apparently, he's being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. No, we're just kidding. Wait, we're not kidding? Alright then. Hey, Dolph Ziggler. We're going to talk about that guy later. Dolph Ziggler tried to show that he can still hang with the big boys, but he ate a Kevin Owens kick to the back of the head and ended his night on the back of his head. Weird how that works. The Riot Squad, hey, they were a thing, and they were there. And they did stuff. Riot Squad. And down in NXT, Johnny Gargano challenged Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship, but felt the burn of the Black Heart Tommaso Ciampa, losing the match and his place in NXT, because he's fired. And that's what happened this week in WWE. There you go. I did it.
All right.
I did it.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Did it.
You did it. I did it. So anyway.
Yes.
All right. So here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take a short break. When we come back,
yes,
we're going to jump right into the gold standard. We're going to talk about some Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
And by the way, for next week, I said this on my last show, I'm going to work on getting more music because I seem to have forgotten to do that. So this week, I'm going to give you guys again Code Orange, Bleeding in the Blur, and we'll be back with more then, now, whenever. So stick around.
All right.
So Facebook, hello guys.
Funny.
Hey,
Oh.
Travis Jones, man, what's going on?
Trav Bones. That's my boy.
How's it going, his
Trav
boy?
Bones Jones. So.
That'll be smoother next time. That's
we
right,
talked,
guys.
We talked about pre-recording that, and we're like, we can just do it live.
You know what, though? The thing is next time, I'll have the notes prior, or more than an hour before the show.
Yes. Hopefully I'll do it Wednesday night, and then you'll have...
No problem, guys. Hey, part of
I'm
live
sorry.
radio and everything.
So Jeff Jarrett is getting into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
we
is
were
great
just
because I can't wait
surprised.
for him. I can't
Have
wait
they
for...
renamed it to be like the Wrestling Hall of Fame, or is it?
No, it's WWE.
No.
Hey, here's the thing.
They haven't bought TNA yet, so I have no idea what's going on.
You know what I'm excited for? I'm excited for Vince to think that he has an agreement that they're not going to mention Impact Wrestling. And he's definitely going to mention Impact Wrestling. I'm sure that it'll be either blatant or he'll work in some cheesy, corny slight where he's like, I'm so happy to be a part of the WWE Hall of Fame. Finally, someone who will make a real impact.
I'm sorry, what is Impact Wrestling?
Oh, that's TNA.
I'm
Okay. I don't know with you.
I've never actually seen any TNA. I just know that it's a thing.
Yeah. It's had varying success.
Is that where the Matt Hardy thing started?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where the Matt Hardy thing
Great.
started. That's where Samoa Joe and AJ Styles were great.
Mm-hmm.
Although AJ Styles still
Kurt
great.
Angle had a resurgence there.
Yes, when he really should have not been wrestling. No.
That guy's neck is broken.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he won a gold medal
But that's true.
with a
It's
broken
true.
freaking neck.
It's true.
Oh my God. You also did the thing. Hey.
I don't get it. Is that a wrestling reference?
It's before your time. It's before your time.
How is that possible? I'm the oldest one here.
You know,
Maybe?
TNA, to give you an idea of what kind of company TNA was, when Kurt Angle went there, his phrase was, "It's real. It's damn real."
No way.
Because they couldn't just use the exact same one, but had to use as
Is
quickly as they
that,
could.
is that a thing?
Yeah, it was real. It was damn real.
Oh,
You fell for
I'm
it.
so sad.
Yeah, when you leave me open like that, it makes me sad.
So is
'Cause then I
TNA
have
more
to-
like ECW or more like WCW?
It's
Can I answer
a
that?
lot, yeah.
It's more like WWECW.
He wasn't there for that. It's like WCW. where
But like WCW Saturday Night, where it's like in a it's in like a sound studio, like a small sound studio.
Yeah, I saw some of the old Matt Hardy stuff
Yeah, so
when I was reading a news article about.
a lot of that he just did on his own. Like they paid for it, he just did his own thing, which is probably the way to go. Because a lot of it just felt super low.
It seems like an editor would have stepped in at some point to be like, you know what, this storyline doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
So I'm not at all surprised to find out that was just Matt Hardy dicking around in his
That's right.
compound in North Carolina.
By the way,
right.
I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook, watching us live on Facebook. Right now we have a song playing on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio. If you're ever driving around, you want to listen to the show live, you can certainly tune in. Go to LehighValleyUndergroundRadio.com/WLVU and click play. And that's my story. And hey, we're on Twitter, right?
We are.
Follow us on the Twitter.
Yep. At Then Now Whenever, like you would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back live on the radio in about 35 seconds or so, and
Okay.
we'll be talking some things and stuff.
Good things and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a classy way to do a radio show.
If we're low on time and we have to cut things or stuff, where do we go?
You just made the list for bringing that up. Chris Jericho. You don't even know the list. Oh my God.
He is vaguely familiar with a lot of small things.
All right, here we go. Get ready to come back
Only
in.
because you were telling me about it.
You heard about the list.
Seriously, it's just
You're
spitting
welcome.
out the gum to like right here and then.
Hey, if you can make it happen, let's see what happens. It'll be terrible on radio and great on video.
All right.
Coming back. This was his first song.
Oh.
Not counting the times before it was Dolph Ziggler.
Ladies and gentlemen around the world, live on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio, and streaming on Facebook at facebook.com/ThenNowWhenever. Follow us on Twitter at ThenNowWhenever. That is the music that you're hearing right now of Dolph Ziggler, WWE superstar, who, by the way, as it turns out, is not perfection, which will...
Spoilers, guy.
Yeah, spoiler, right?
Yeah.
But before that, you heard Code Orange with Bleeding the Blur. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. So let's talk a little bit about Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, of course, some people would say that he's borrowed a lot, and it works for him.
Yes.
Once he kind of came into his own and grew his hair out, he reminds a lot of people of Shawn Michaels in many ways with the way he performs in the ring and things like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll get to that.
And it does. I actually, if I may go off on a tangent and steal somebody else's work.
Real quick, yeah.
Somebody made the point that it is a shame that so many people have ripped off Shawn Michaels' like I'm good at wrestling showstopper gimmick.
Yeah.
And haven't really followed through with it. Dolph Ziggler is as close as they've come to actually being as good in the ring as they say they are, but there's really not a whole lot more substance there.
And you have
which
to
is a
think a
shame.
lot of it has to do with the writing, the booking.
Yeah. Right.
Now, the interesting thing about this, and why we have this three what'd you say? This
Three-man booth.
Three-man booth, yes.
Mhm.
There, is that you have been out of the loop.
I know absolutely zero about Dolph Ziggler. In fact, when Jesse asked me about Dolph Ziggler, I asked if it was Jack Swagger. And I know even, just a tiny bit more about what Jack Swagger is. So I have no idea anything about, I guess he's a Shawn Michaels clone.
Yeah, Jack Swagger is
Wait,
one of the
are we talking about Jack Swagger or Dolph Ziggler?
Well, Jack Swagger is one of the Old Spice fragrances.
That's real bad. Okay, so I'm
So
going to...
let's talk about Dolph Ziggler. Let's explain to Greg here and see if this makes sense. So let's start with the early years.
All right, so...
Hey, are you familiar with a guy named Eddie Guerrero?
I am.
Okay, he has nothing directly to do with this. However,
This is true.
Good tangent.
Yes. You remember Chavo, right?
Of course, he
Ooh,
rode a
Chavo.
little pony.
Yeah. Oh, going way back.
Yeah.
That's funny, because for you it's like 5 years ago, and for me it's 25 years ago.
I think somebody put
No.
the pony into a wood chipper. It was a
That's
big deal.
Oh God, WCW, man. That's rough stuff. But actually that was one of the more entertaining things they did, so I'll give it to them. At a certain point, Chavo Guerrero, Vince McMahon, he's a crazy old man. I think you're aware of that, right?
Yes.
He had the idea of making Chavo Guerrero into Kerwin White.
Kerwin, oh my gosh, Kerwin White!
Yes.
I don't remember who Kerwin was.
Kerwin White liked golf.
Kerwin White was one of the most, indirectly racist characters WWE has ever
It was
done.
essentially, let's take our young Mexican friend and make him a white guy.
All right.
And, in everything mannerism...
Like Razor Ramon being
Yes.
Miami Cuban.
Exactly.
Just remember,
Except it's racist the other way.
and just remember, because if it
Wait, no,
ain't
it's
white,
racist either way.
it ain't right.
Was trying
his
to be
thing.
associated with the show.
If you
more.
don't, if
I
you
don't remember. I did not remember that was his
That
thing.
was a thing.
That is gross. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. Long story short, Dolph Ziggler's first appearance on WWE TV was as his caddy. He would just accompany him to ringside.
I forgot about that.
Kerwin White did not last very long, so neither did Dolph Ziggler. He was unnamed then. He was just a dude. He might have actually been Nick. He might have been Nick.
Okay.
But yeah, he was just a dude.
Mm-hmm.
When we first really got to know him, was as part of the Spirit Squad.
Are you familiar with the Spirit Squad? After this
That was-
episode, you're going to see a video of the Spirit Squad.
What era are we talking about with Spirit Squad?
2005?
That
Okay.
was Kerwin White was 2005. Spirit Squad is early 2006.
Okay.
I believe he early. So he was one of 5 men. They were cheerleaders. That's the whole thing.
They were big. They were big rookie come up like
Yeah.
upstarts, and
Yeah.
they were good. This was their way to break in.
Yeah.
And,
It's what you'd expect. There were 5 of them, so they had a huge advantage all the time, cheated
Mm-hmm.
to win constantly. And they were pretty
I
good.
like it when they cheat to win.
And they did cheers like stunts
Yeah, they had like the trampoline stuff,
Sure.
megaphones, pom-poms.
because
Right.
why not?
Yep. One of them was weirdly short, but not Dolph Ziggler. That's the thing. I would not have remembered Dolph Ziggler was in that if they didn't make mention of it later on, because he was. There were 5 of them.
Mhm.
2 of them kind of stood out. Actually, no. 1 of them kind of stood out. 1 of them was kind of short, and then there were 3 dudes. One of
How
those.
short are we talking about here? Because you say kind of short, I'm picturing Odd Job.
He had kind of like the Taz build, where
Oh.
he was a little wider than he should have been for
Yeah.
being a little shorter.
That
So
was
he just,
Mikey.
Yes, it was Mikey. Good call. There was also Kenny, who did kind of. He didn't catch fire at all, but he was the guy they put all their chips on at the end of it, where it's like, okay, Ken Dykstra is going to be a thing. He wasn't a thing. Johnny, Mitch, Nikki, and Mikey.
I just want to say quickly, I am a sports fan. I don't know if you're a sports fan.
Yeah.
Okay. You follow baseball at all?
Yeah.
I have nothing to back this to go with on this, but maybe
Interesting.
you'll appreciate like 80s baseball reference. I have always been convinced, just on a short little tangent, that Kenny Dykstra was named after Lenny Dykstra, the baseball player.
Oh, there's zero
I
chance.
can't imagine that that's not true. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Neither.
That
Yeah,
might have-
Dykstra and Lenny. No, yeah, it's
Right.
definitely.
So anyway,
That might have been his legit name, at which point his parents were probably real big Lenny Dykstra fans. Or they had time machines. I don't know how sports works.
yeah.
Is that how sports works?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I've
So
seen Back
they,
to the Future too.
they held the World Tag Team Championships under the Freebird rule, which means there were 5 of them. Any 2 of them could defend it at any time.
Sort of like that new
The New Day.
New Day.
Yes. Yeah,
I
you got
like
little
where
bits
this is
of it.
going.
Little bits. I believe you said you still play the video games, so you kind of
I kind of only know New Day because of their like trombone guy,
yes,
and that sounds fantastic. to
Xavier
me.
Woods.
yeah.
Sure.
It's great.
He was a guy who just I didn't understand what people saw in him, and then suddenly I understood everything that everybody saw in him for years because he's amazing.
He's a doctor.
He is.
Is he?
He's a doctor.
He got a PhD. Yeah,
In,
I don't know.
Thugonomics, for sure. Anyway.
Oh boy. So yeah, he's technically a tag team champion during this era, even though he was never in the ring during any of the title matches. So technically,
okay.
Spirit Squad lasted maybe a year, give or take.
They feuded with DX.
That was their downfall.
DX was back around then?
DX
Yeah.
came back. It was
That'll
just
be another show.
it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels wearing shirts that had roosters on them, making jokes about looking at their cocks.
It seems unfair to
course.
have Triple H and Shawn Michaels go for a tag team belt against.
They did win for
The
the first
Spirit
time, by the
Squad.
way.
Yes,
Still.
WWE
Still.
Was then and it still is a fan of like this is a very celebrated guy. What belts hasn't he had? Let's go. Let's find an excuse to get Shawn Michaels his first tag team belt. Well, not Shawn Michaels. He was a rocker. But then their first back belt together. So yeah, after they were trounced by DX, they put them all into a giant crate that said OVW on it, and they shipped them back to. Or actually, it might have just said like Louisville, Kentucky. Pretty much, they put them back in developmental by shipping them back in a crate
Which sucked for
on
that,
television.
for those guys.
Wait, they
Yeah.
went from the tag team champions to completely buried.
Off TV.
Welcome to the
Cease be.
WWE.
Yes.
Wow.
They actually may have lost the championships earlier and then continued to feud because that's also a good WWE thing. But yeah, they just were immediately gone. And then, Ken Dykstra did a little bit of stuff for Kenny Dykstra, I think he was. And then eventually, let's see, in late 2008, Dolph Ziggler started showing up around backstage on Raw.
Here's how he started showing up. Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler.
All right.
That's it.
He'd walk away. You just see him like week after week just introducing himself to people,
Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler.
and it was terrible.
That's a catchphrase I can get behind.
That, to me, when I first heard that, and to this day, to be honest with you, I hate that name. It's such an awkward, like nothing about that rolls off the tongue. It's
Yeah,
also
So
such a.
I don't, not knowing anything about Dolph Ziggler, is he German? Is he American?
He is-
Canadian?
He is. He's your typical, as far as look goes,
Yeah.
bleached, blonde, like Florida Panhandle guy. But he's not like like weird accent. But he's just like he looks like a guy
So
you would
like
expect to
Stone
be on the
Cold
beach.
in the Hollywood Blondes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks like he should have a surfboard somewhere.
All right.
And more recently, he has graduated to looking like he is a reject from Poison.
Or like yeah,
All right.
80s glam rocker.
He's gone more glam rock, heavy metal, like hair metal.
So he's still around.
Yes. Yeah, he is still doing stuff.
We'll get to
Yes,
all that.
yeah.
So
yeah,
So the early
he
years.
Yeah, he went on to SmackDown. He dated a woman named Maria. I don't know if you were around for the. She was in the first Diva Search, which was also an abomination, where it's like, women's wrestling is not bad enough. Let's hire a bunch of models, pick out the best ones, and then try to force them to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward on
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
She was smoking hot and married now to a pro wrestler named Mike Bennett.
Yes. Well, he's going by Mike Kanellis because Maria is the more popular of the two of them.
Yeah.
So he took her.
They have a great gimmick.
But it's nice.
Anyway.
Great theme song as well.
Yes.
Completely unrelated to anything that's happening here.
So
Yes.
God.
Yeah. Around that time, actually no, pretty much nothing happened. He had a bunch of unfruitful feuds
Nice.
that, if I mentioned them, you wouldn't remember any of them. I didn't remember any of them during research.
Okay.
Funny thing, didn't write them down because they didn't matter. And he really started to kind of, his first real development as a character was he started dating Vicky Guerrero.
Hey, remember that Eddie Guerrero question from before?
Who's Eddie Guerrero?
Yes,
He's
he
not
lied.
Chris Benoit.
That's probably
You guys are allowed to talk about? I thought no one was allowed to talk about Chris Benoit anymore.
Who?
Exactly.
yes.
So Eddie Guerrero's widow.
Yeah.
Yes. Eddie Guerrero's widow was Vicky Guerrero. I believe she was on TV here and there for a short period when you needed to do a family angle, but for the most part, she was a non-entity.
Yeah.
When Eddie tragically died from having done too much with drugs, and it kind of caught up to him.
Too much with drugs.
Yes. He did some stuff.
Just taking drugs to the park, pushing drugs on a swing.
Dangerous game. He
I
was
did that
playing.
with a championship belt. That's another story.
That is a whole other story. Yeah, when he passed, it seems that they felt for Vicky and wanted to support her in some way, so they allowed her to become an on-screen character. She was the general manager of SmackDown for a time. Eventually, they realized that she was able to take people liked her because she was Eddie Guerrero's a widow, and then they found out that she has a great shrill voice and can say the words "excuse me" like no one else. And so
Can you do an impression of how she would say it?
excuse me.
Oh my god! And I apologize to everyone who love you, all of you.
There's no way
now deaf and has speakers damaged because
There's no way not to scream that and I apologize. Yeah. She is one of the best ever at getting crowds to just boo the crap out of her. So they put her with Dolph Ziggler, who they wanted people to boo the crap out of.
Gotcha.
I
It
believe
works.
she was also actually she might not have been the general manager of SmackDown at that point. This might be a good time to take a moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. So, before we go to any kind of a break, because we're gonna end up going to a break before our next bit.
Okay.
Okay. But so let's kind of fast forward a little bit here. So Vicky and Dolph. They're working together
Yes.
now. Obviously, their
Okay.
thing. She's helping him win matches.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Yes.
Now comes the big match.
Not yet.
Not just yet.
Just wanted to say, he
Oh.
started getting world title shots. He was sort of, he wasn't the best in the ring, but he was making good progress. But mostly he was that smarmy little jerk who kept winning for the wrong reasons.
Right.
We wanted to punch him in the face.
Okay.
Let's see. There was a moment in February of 2011 where Vicky was the GM of SmackDown.
Mhm.
He was feuding with Edge. You remember Edge?
I do.
Yes.
At
Good
this,
man.
by the way, so it's worth mentioning. Obviously, there's the natural thing where they're working together. Her, and now she is a position of power, so he can get the matches that he wants because you know what I mean. She can kind of.
Oh wait, in real life, or that was the storyline?
the storyline.
The storyline was that he was getting
she's,
pushed. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's the general manager. She's
Yeah, it
bad.
was-
She's bad guy. A heel. He's a heel, but they're in cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he needs, she'll make it happen.
Gotcha.
It was a total garbage party. She had banned the spear, which is Edge's finishing move the one that he would use most to win matches.
Really?
Yeah, at that point, it became his best finisher. He let that DDT behind.
Oh.
Yeah. So the
Everyone has a spear.
Edge also had a spear. Ta-da! That's the career of Edge. Join us next week for more of Then, Now, Whenever. No, I'm kidding. Let's keep going. He used the spear. Vicky Guerrero disqualified him for using a banned move and declared Dolph Ziggler to be the champion, which is not the way you want to win your first title, because you look like an ass.
It's not a very good storyline.
But guess what?
What?
Ta-da!
World champion, baby. Then Edge got fired for attacking Teddy Long, who I believe was co-GM, or took over as GM, or some kind of garbage.
Yeah, that guy who was a referee, and then he was a manager, and then a referee, and now a GM.
Yes. There was a running gag that when he was the GM of SmackDown, he liked doing two things. He liked taking the people who were in the match and making it into a tag team match, and he also liked making it so that you had to face The Undertaker. Those were his two things.
The Undertaker!
And then he would also do this. I'm doing a dance. Visual jokes for radio.
Yes.
I love it.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it's a good
You
one.
guys missed it.
He was thugging and bugging,
And
ladies and gentlemen.
check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/thatnowwhenever, and find me dancing.
Watch
It's
Jesse
happening this long.
thugging and
A
bugging.
little bit. I was thugging. I didn't notice. Didn't know if you noticed I was bugging. I'm glad that you caught it. So yeah, there was a whole bunch of garbage. Nothing's important. Edge won the title back at the first opportunity.
Did he use a spear?
Yes, but at that point Vicky was not in power, so it's okay. Yep. Oh, but then he had to retire shortly after because of neck damage.
Should have really developed a different finishing move.
Yep.
Like, that would have been a better way
that's like,
to get around
just
things.
a super quick side note. That's like, this could be a conversation for another time, I guess. But
Yes.
Hulk Hogan. One of the things Hogan said after he retired was, all I did was talk and promote that I have the largest arms in the world. I have the 24-inch pythons. I crush anybody. But I have a leg drop, and now I can barely walk because I've had to have multiple hip surgeries.
Yeah.
I've been doing all these
What a
damn
dummy.
leg drops.
Yeah.
Looking back, you're like, yeah, like.
No, yeah,
What
the
an
leg
idiot.
drop made no sense.
So anyway.
Okay. There's a lot of this that we can skip. He didn't do a whole lot for.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for tuning in.
Nice. He had short dark hair for a week.
That's a good storyline.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, it was just like he was a new serious Dolph Ziggler, and everybody
Like
was
when Christian had short dark hair.
Yes, except
Yes.
he was still Christian. Dolph Ziggler just put on a serious Randy Orton face and was nothing.
Oh.
And then they realized like this isn't going to work out.
Grow your hair out tomorrow, like Play-Doh. No.
Dyed his hair blonde again, and they pretended it never happened. So I need to mention that it happened. I'm sure a lot of stuff happened. Let's fast forward to near the end of 2011. Vicky started managing a young man named Jack Swagger. You might have heard of him.
Dolph Ziggler?
Yes. It's pretty much short-haired Dolph Ziggler. Jack Swagger was just a wrestling dude, but he was a guy who, when ECW was its own brand, he won their championship. He won Money in the Bank, which is a contract to get a championship match at any time, and he was able to win the world championship, and everybody's like, him? This guy? Really? And then it was a garbage reign, and he lost it, and he wasn't a laughingstock, but he never felt like he was world title material anytime after that.
Okay.
Oh, except when he went for the world title.
Wow, you're only halfway through this Dolph Ziggler history.
I skipped
This is gonna be the fastest 4 minutes in pro wrestling.
All right. He did another feud for the championship with CM Punk. Lost that again. He does a lot of losing.
He does a lot of losing for a guy who's super talented.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he doesn't really sound like the gold standard.
He was
I'm telling you.
he was a big loser.
I'll
They
tell you,
actually
You watch any video of him, honestly, like he's amazing. I mean, he's legit. And I don't want to take too much time because I know we have a lot to get through, but he's a phenomenal in-ring worker. He's great on the mic. You know what I mean? He's got a great look to him. He's got he's got a very marketable theme song.
Yeah, he's a fine wrestler.
He really is.
But he's one of those guys who always looks like a chump because he could never win the big one. He would always he would win through garbage means.
Everybody looks great when they wrestle Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
And because of that, they put him in against guys who don't really need the bump, the rub.
Yeah.
But, he's going to lose to John Cena a lot.
Okay.
Cool.
So he couldn't beat CM Punk 3 times in 2 months. He tried to fight against Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship, lost that multiple times. In July of 2012, he won Money in the Bank, which up until this point, nobody has cashed in Money in the Bank and not won the championship.
Up to that point.
Up to that point.
Spoiler alert!
There were several months of him trying that when somebody was beaten up and down, run in, like his music would hit, I'm here to show the world. He would run down with the briefcase.
He's like, I'm gonna cash this in.
Yeah, and then he would get kicked, or the guy would get up too fast, and he'd be like, no, I'm not cashing it in. He would hit people with it. It got like destroyed. It was all beaten and busted up.
Because the match doesn't start until both superstars are up, even if you're like barely, with it, and the referee rings that, has them ring that bell. If that bell doesn't ring, it never technically happens.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it was almost a bit of a joke on him, because he had to carry that thing for, I think, for quite some time. He had to carry it for quite some time.
Was the Money in the Bank transferable, or like could a wrestler steal that from him?
No, they technically they've put it up in like as a match stipulation, so you could lose it, but you can't like it's haha I got it, now I'm the champ, now I have it. No, there's a contract with your name on it.
It wasn't like the '90s Hardcore Championship.
No, which beautiful championship. We should talk about that sometime. Put it on the wheel. Yeah. So
Clicky Von
I
Wheeler?
don't know what the wheel is, but I know who Clicky Von Wheeler is.
That's his.
He'll be coming up tonight.
That's his nickname, the Wheel, Clicky Von Wheeler.
Anyway.
Okay. In December, AJ Lee, who just wonderful young lady, great wrestler.
Okay, yeah, I know.
She pretty much her claim to fame was that she was a little crazy. She turned on. She for some reason had like a weird romantic thing going on with John Cena, and the two John Cena and Dolph Ziggler had a ladder match to determine who could be Money in the Bank. Like pretty much Cena was trying to take his contract, his Money in the Bank contract.
And we all thought that John Cena was going to take it.
Because it's John Cena, that's what he does. But AJ turned on him. All of a sudden, Dolph and AJ are an item. Vicky is losing her mind. Because I think they were broken up by this point, but she still is not. She's not handling it well. And brought in a large black gentleman named Big E Langston. Now just Big E. He's part of that New Day that you love.
Mm.
And they were a wonderful... the internet nicknamed them Team Rocket. They were really just a great visual. Just this tiny little sprightly woman... huge, like, muscle lifter, and then just Dolph Ziggler.
Wait, but what does that have to do with Team Rocket?
I don't know. That's what they called them.
All right.
I like Dolph Ziggler as Meowth, though. That's a really... That actually fits him better than I've ever considered. Dolph and Big E tried to win the tag titles at WrestleMania in 2013. Failed, because that's what Dolph Ziggler does.
Spoiler alert, I forgot all about that.
We were there live, too. That was WrestleMania 29.
Oh my god, I forgot all about that.
That's the one that was in New York, or New Jersey. I know.
It was real good.
Yeah.
It sounds
so good. The Raw after WrestleMania has taken on a life of its own, partly because of that next night, because it's like, okay, something big didn't happen at WrestleMania, and maybe something big will happen at the Raw after. That's when they would bring up new people, they would have big things.
I just want to say, and it's an important thing to mention.
Yes.
The reason they do that is because as wrestling goes, everything is leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So WrestleMania is the end of the WWE calendar year.
Yeah.
So the Raw is
It's
New Year's Day.
Yes, and also it had like most of the audience is still people who came to see WrestleMania. So you have a rowdy international crowd who is going to go nuts for everything.
So just a real quick sidebar here.
Yes.
You guys aren't making it seem like I missed a whole lot in the 15 years. Mostly it seems like, a lot of garbage happened, and then a lot of garbage happened that we forgot about, and then more garbage happened.
This is true. The important thing to note that I haven't really pressed upon enough is that during this whole time period, Dolph Ziggler, we're supposed to hate him, but he's an underdog who we want to see win at this point. He is somebody who we love because he wrestles super well, and we're frustrated because he can never win.
That's
like
he was sort of still what's happening.
Yeah, he was sort of like in our hearts like a people's champion without being crowned or The Rock. He wasn't.
Yeah, because The Rock is the people's champion.
So, the night after WrestleMania, there was a what's it called?
There was there was a promo happening.
Yes.
There was a promo happening in the ring with Edge. Right?
No, you're thinking of CM Punk's.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. Okay, Del Rio is in the ring.
Alberto Del Rio, right.
He had defeated Jack Swagger, who had... At this point, Alberto Del Rio is an evil Mexican. But at this point, he was like a jolly Mexican folk hero fighting against the anti-American Jack Swagger.
Was he still an evil Mexican, or was he a jolly Mexican, like...
It's essentially... They
both?
They brought in the idea that Jack Swagger was the America who feels that immigrants are the devil, and so he was definitely on the bad side, and Alberto Del Rio, but Alberto Del Rio's a natural heel, and so him smiling it up and like kissing babies just did not work. It felt wrong the whole time. I understand why they did it because it made for an interesting conflict, but no, didn't work
I'm
out.
just looking at what Alberto Del Rio looks like. I'm not.
No, please go right ahead.
Checking my email because I'm bored.
Oh,
So
get your socks and your pants ready.
Continue.
Swags shows up, beats the living crap out of Del Rio. Del Rio's like, "Aye, my knee." Now I'm being racist, and I apologize. I am very sorry about that. But yeah, he was hurting. And then Dolph Ziggler's music hits. Everybody's super happy to hear it because they've wanted this forever. He comes down, tries to cash in his Money in the Bank. Actually does. So now we've got the match going on. He starts attacking the knee because ostensibly Dolph Ziggler's still a bad guy, even though the crowd is going nuts for him. Just beating up the knee, like trying to get it. Del Rio is able to lock on his armbar submission on Dolph Ziggler. So it's like, oh my god, is Dolph Ziggler going to be the first guy who actually loses when he cashes in Money in the Bank? Does the WWE think he's that much of a loser? That he has held on to this briefcase for 9-10 months now, and now he's just going to lose it? No, he was able to get out of it, beat up the knee. I believe he actually hit the knee while he was in the armbar to get out of it. And was able to hit his finisher, cover for the 3.
One of the biggest pops.
Yeah. It is honestly heartwarming. Like, you can see his dream.
I will show you that, actually, after the show.
I feel like it's a disservice that he won that championship for a week earlier, so that this couldn't be like his big first win and mean something. But seeing him and AJ and Big E like celebrating like a family was truly important, and it was wonderful. And then about 2-3 weeks later, because he was feuding with Del Rio and Swags, he got kicked in the face by Jack Swagger, got a concussion.
Legit.
Oh, like a real one?
And could not compete in their next match, which I guess when he had an interview later on where he said that when they told him that later on, because he had completely blacked out, his response was just, classic Swags. Apparently just Jack Swagger,
really?
Jack Swagger kicking you in the face is just like, that's that guy. When he was able to come back, he fought against Del Rio, who had beaten Jack Swagger in the #1 contendership deal. And they had one of the best matches as far as crowd reaction. They did a double turn, which you very rarely see pulled off well. Where going into the match, Alberto Del Rio is a plucky good guy. Ziggler is supposed to be a complete jerk.
Okay.
And then Dolph Ziggler, pretty much Del Rio keeps attacking him and trying to hit him in the face and head. And the crowd starts booing for Del Rio. And Ziggler is all of a sudden fighting back and trying to, keep this championship that he never really got to defend. And no, Del Rio just beats the holy hell out of him, takes the championship, and that is the end of Dolph Ziggler having championships, which is really sad because he never really got a chance to hold on to it.
Yeah.
But that match is just heartbreaking. And that's one thing that Dolph Ziggler does as well as just about anybody, is when he's very good at that thing where you are getting beaten down and you have that spark of hope and you are fighting back, and every time you do something, the crowd is right with you on your side.
So it's like Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan's hulking up, except he still loses.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good gimmick to have. I don't know why other wrestlers hadn't thought of that before. Oh, I'll turn into Superman for 30 seconds and then...
So, real quick, before we go to break here, because we're going to play a fun game here tonight that we think you guys are going to enjoy. Before we go to break, so kind of bring us up to speed as to where we're at with Dolph Ziggler.
Okay. Yeah, so from that point on, AJ cost him the rematch. He fought back and forth with The Miz for the IC title, which is not exactly where you want to be after being a world champion.
IC title, that's a big one. That's like the second most important title.
It was in the 90s.
Yeah. It's been kind of a cursed title.
It's been
I
watered
refuse
down.
to believe that.
Yeah.
They had a Survivor Series match where he was the lone survivor on Team Cena against the Team Authority, and that is another spectacular match because it's 4-on-1, and he's able to make it all the way to the end. And then there's like a 6-minute window at the end where it is not about him at all. It's about Sting showing up and staring at Triple H, and it's stupid.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh.
Sting showed up in the WWE.
It was actually amazing while it was happening, but watching that match to see Dolph Ziggler, it was like both those guys had to lay around for 6 minutes, like him and the other guy who was fighting. It was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he
Isn't Sting like 60 years old now?
yes. Oh, he actually had to retire.
Oh,
as
good.
well. Soon
That's
after.
another story.
That's
That was a whole other story.
So-
oh god, I'm almost done.
No, it's fine.
Yes, he was just another dude on the roster at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He fought Sheamus in a Kiss Me Arse match, which didn't help either guy. That just made everybody look bad.
Yeah.
He was in a love quadrangle with a large Bulgarian man named Rusev and his Russian... his Russian bride now. They didn't actually get married, but at that point they were engaged in real life, or they were in a real life relationship, but they were trying to do a thing where it's like, oh my god, Dolph Ziggler's taking Lana from him, and now they're wearing denim, and it's stupid. Everything's dumb.
I mean, I like to wear denim, generally speaking. I'm wearing denim right now.
Well, pants don't count. It's when you start putting on like vests and like dresses, it gets real gross.
Denim underwear, oh, it's rough.
That is the definition of rough. He actually had a hot intercontinental feud with with The Miz. I had to check my notes again because it seemed so unlikely. In late 2016, where he put his career on the line, and he actually brought back that fire, because that's most of the problem. He lost his fire. And
He lost his smile.
No.
And now, the last few months, he's just been a guy who comes out, and his music doesn't play, and he talks about how gimmicks are stupid, and he's not going to need any gimmicks.
Because he's the best wrestler, and nobody else can do what he does.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Hopefully that is turning around, though, because
Hopefully.
he is back. He's back in the world title picture, and maybe this is his. It's not going to be a shot, but at least they're taking him seriously, which they haven't done in quite some time.
Basically, what we want to say to Dolph Ziggler, because I know you're listening right now,
Definitely.
to Then, Now, Whenever,
He probably
which you
is.
can follow on Facebook at facebook.com/Then, Now, Whenever. What I want to say is, you can be that gold standard.
That's right.
Just tell someone to stop booking you like crap.
Wait a minute, I thought being the gold standard meant that you don't get the title.
You should.
It's sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing, like
Yeah.
you know, like
This guy's
he has it all.
If I could
Except
actually,
the run.
if I can go off book for a second, do you remember Shelton Benjamin, half of Teen Angle?
I do!
Yes.
His nickname.
He eventually became the gold standard, and he is the definition of guy who never really made it where he should. So that's where I got like the sort of joking.
Wait, did he ever get a push? Because I don't remember him ever getting like...
They tried to push him as a heel, it didn't work.
He kind of got those pushes where it's like, oh my god, they believe it. Nope, it was a fluke.
Before we
Never
talk
happened.
too much about Shelton Benjamin,
Yeah,
which you
that's
can
not
still
what
do
we're
on the Facebook side.
Yes.
We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to play a fun little game here that we brought, and Greg, you are going to love this.
I love things.
Thanks for being here, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
Greg loves things. Just take that any way you want. We'll be right back with more Then, Now, Whenever live on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio, and on Facebook. So stick around.
All right.
Dolph Ziggler's music currently.
Who's Dolph Ziggler?
Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger.
Wait, I thought he didn't have a theme song.
Well, so what happens now,
Uh-huh.
this was his music for a long time. Now he comes out, before any, you hear a record scratch and stop, which is weird when no music was playing before it, and then there's silence, and then he comes out, and the crowd's like, and then like 20 seconds later, he's like, now I'm going to the ring, and his music plays. It's like,
And,
what
like,
was the point
all
of that?
All of the banners and stuff are just blacked out.
So is he-
It's real lame.
Alright, so if you were gonna like... A DDR's kind of like graph of like
Yes.
different talents.
Understood.
Where are we going at with him? Is he like a... You guys mentioned Shawn Michaels a lot. Is he
Yes.
like kind of acrobatic, but with like really technical punches and
You know, we
kicks?
never did talk
or
about
kind
what
of like a
kind of
Kurt
wrestler he
Angle,
was.
or kind of an Eddie Guerrero. Where
He's-
are we at here?
I would say like more poor man Eddie Guerrero, where he was solid at everything he did, but didn't do anything where it's like, oh my god, I've never seen anybody
Yeah.
do that. Like he wasn't Rey Mysterio, but he was good, and he did when he's in his right groove, when it's hitting, when everything's hitting just right, he is as in like you follow him through that match. He gets you by the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
So like that was his strength. He made you care, and he made you want to win, or he made you want him to win, and then he would lose all the time, and it was terrible to be a fan of his. He's a real disappointment, Dolph Ziggler.
When are we going to talk about Taka Michinoku on this?
Uh,
I want to talk more about Kai and Tai. Can we talk about Kai and Tai one week?
No, I'm afraid that the mission statement for this brand is that we are only talking about things post John Cena, and Taka Michinoku he's actually still wrestling in New Japan.
I
which
refuse
is
to
amazing.
believe that. I'm
It's-
pretty sure he had a
he
2-week-long push that involved bad dubbing, and that was it.
Indeed.
That's the only thing he's ever done in pro wrestling.
He looks exactly the same. It's horrifying. It's not okay. He looked like he was 22 years old then when he was probably like 18. He looks like he's 22 years old now when he's like 45. It hurts me. All right. Yeah, do we want to cut this off? Because who wants to listen to this much Dolph?
All right. So you explained this already.
Yep. All right. We can make it work.
All right.
As we explain it to the audience,
Okay.
He'll get it.
Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for tuning in. She loves Shawn Michaels. I'm Shawn Michael. It's different. It's different. All right.
Singular, worst of plural.
Hey, everybody. Listening live on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio. You're listening to the glorious theme song of Dolph Ziggler, The Show Off, and he's here to show the world. We are still live on the Facebook.
Sean, Glorious is that other guy. He was perfection.
He was perfection. Sort of?
No.
Anyway, so what we're going to
Drop
do
the ball
here
on that.
live on Then, Now, Whenever is we're going to play a fun little game. And this game, I'm not going to say the name of the game because I don't know if we're allowed to really do that. But here's what you need to know.
Okay.
Here's what you need to know.
They're going to be okay with it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Then they can pay us and sponsor us. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's where we're at. This game is a game where we are going to see Jesse and Gregg do something that I think Gregg is going to crush Jesse at.
Excellent.
Which is
I like crushing Jesse.
Are we
at
putting
things.
Greg in the promo chair?
yes.
Oh,
so,
no.
So
Oh, poor Jesse.
yeah. By the way, that was a
I
plot
lose.
twist. Here we go. So this is a game where you're going to get a fake wrestler name,
Okay.
and you will tell me what that is. I'm going to be the producer of this segment. Okay.
All right.
And I will give you a scenario, and you're each going to cut a promo on each other as wrestlers. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You're also each going to get a card, and I'm going to get 2 of these cards that are basically like wild card change-ups. So in the middle of Jesse's promo, or your own, depending on how you want to use that card, you can just jump in with that card and interrupt. And by the way, for the rest of your promo, this happens. You know what I mean?
Is there a card that says I swap my gum at Jesse? Because I want to do
I'm
a Mr. Perfect style gum swap.
Do you know
right at him.
a fun fact that nobody cares about? I guess I'm embarrassed to say this now that I think about it. Anytime I spit gum out, that's exactly what I do.
You kind of.
There's no reason not to be embarrassed by
Right.
that.
Okay. So you can put these 2 cards. Do you want your name first or second?
I don't know the
Just take first or second.
first.
Okay. So you can put these cards in any order to create your name.
Okay.
That is your wrestler name.
Do you want him to let you know right away?
Hold on.
Okay.
First,
Okay. Let's wait a minute.
First, I'm going to tell you guys what the match stipulation is. And actually, what I'm going to do is I will be revealing the name to the opponent.
Okay.
Okay? So put them in the order. I'll read the first card first. You know what I'm saying?
The top card that you can
Yes,
see is
yeah.
the first one.
Okay, here we go. All right. It is, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Then, Now, Whenever, or listening live on WLVU. And according to the card, it's Wild Card Wednesday, but it's Thursday. And we're live in Albany, New York. For this match, the producer, which is me, will choose 2 new segment cards. The audience will vote which one they want played. We can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to...
You just want to pick out another segment card.
Yep. Did you guys each get one yet or no?
No, we did not.
So there you go. You each are going to need one of these, so you can use it on each other if you want to. And I'm going to make sure neither of these... okay, perfect. Okay, so making his way to the ring right now for his promo, to my left is the Grappling Flame. Woo! He's on fire. Sorry.
I'm gonna do a redo on this one.
And
Doesn't work.
his opponent...
That's good.
His opponent, Professor Happy. So Professor Happy.
We're going like late 80s WWF. Let's just...
So I'm gonna let you hang on to this in case you want to use his name in your promo.
Okay.
Okay, Professor Happy against the Grappling Flame.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'll tell you what. Since you're the guest, I'm gonna let you observe your opponent here.
That's good, because...
Okay.
All right.
So Professor Happy.
What is the new match type?
The new match type is the Defeated Streak.
Ooh.
One wrestler has never won a match. And you know what? They must convince the audience why they'll win this match. Producer decides which wrestler has never won. You know what? you've never won a match, Jesse.
That is so true to form.
Professor Happy, you've never won a match, and now is your chance to take down the grappling flame. Tell him what you got.
All right. Ooh, grappling flame.
I'll give you about a minute.
So happy. I know I've never won a match, but I feel really good about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to do it. Okay. Oh, God, I'm so excited.
Mascara de Dedo. The speaker must create a lucha mask out of their hands and cover their face for the rest of the promo.
Oh, man. I'm so happy about this. I don't think, I know that you've probably studied my matches, or maybe you haven't because you think you can just beat me, but I've been coming up with some new stuff. I'm a professor. I can do what I can.
Where am I? Baltimore, Maryland. The speaker must constantly repeat the name of the city the segment's taking place in.
Oh, man. So when I see you in Baltimore, Maryland, I am going to, I'm gonna rip out your spine. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That might be a little too much. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. So yeah, Baltimore, Maryland. I hope the police weren't listening in Baltimore, Maryland. Did you want to use your card on me?
Are you going to save it and use it on yourself?
Oh, I didn't realize this. Yes, I will use my card on
What do we
Jesse.
Sorry
It's
about that.
Name that tune. The speaker must quote song lyrics in their promo.
So hope you're ready for Happy in Baltimore, Maryland. There's going to be a Zoot Suit riot because for some reason that's the only song I remember. I'm so happy.
These are song titles, not song lyrics. I'm just.
That's what I meant.
And I think we're done with Professor Happy's
I'm gonna
promo.
call this up here. I'm so bad at this, and I apologize.
So that's the basic idea of this game.
That's the basic idea. Yes. All right.
But I'm not sure why. Here's what I understood about Professor Happy's promo. Why are you terrified of everything?
Because I don't know how to win.
It
I
really
just
was much
lose.
more Professor Anxiety.
He wasn't very happy at all.
Well, one time he said happy.
Yes, I'm happy on the inside.
Okay.
You can't see.
So now we've got the grappling flame. Grappling flame. He's never won. All you do is win.
All I do
But
is
I think you
win.
need to remind Professor Happy why he's not going to beat you. Are you ready to do that?
I'm ready to do that.
Are you ready to do that?
No, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You know what? Clicky Von Wheeler, he believes in you.
I know he does.
All right, so let him hear it. By the way, you're listening to Then, Now, Whenever, live on WLVU and on Facebook, facebook.com/Then, Now, Whenever. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, and we hope you guys are enjoying this. Stephanie seems to be laughing hysterically.
I'm good.
Grappling Flame, tell Professor Happy why he's never going to win.
Here's the thing, Professor Happy. You've never won a match before. Never once in your life. All I do, as noted, is win. Because I'm the grappling flame.
Handshake. The speaker must shake the hand of their opponent for the duration of the promo.
Here's the thing, Professor Happy. I am going to take you down to Baltimore, Maryland. And when we get down there, I'm going to rip that luchador mask that was sometimes on your face.
Enunciate. The speaker must over-enunciate every word in their promo.
Professor Happy! Your luchador mask is going to be thrown to the ground!
Finishing phrase. Whoever plays this card, me, gives the speaker a phrase. The speaker, that is now your finishing move, and you must incorporate it into your promo. The phrase is, eat a butt eaters.
I'm going to take you to Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going to get you in the ring, and I'm going to make you eat a butt eater. I'm going to get you down next to the turnbuckle, and you're going to be eating butt.
I think,
And that is how grappling flames go.
ladies and gentlemen, the grappling flame, I think,
Yeah.
has ensured your doom.
Yes.
We're
I think you won that promo contest.
So,
And also the match, most likely.
thank you guys for tuning in. Before we go, and by the way, we need to make this a regular thing now on the show. This is going to be great playing this game. So we're glad you guys enjoyed it. It's Mindy tuning in says she would like you to narrate her life. I think like the grappling flame.
Yes. Yeah.
And so now it's time for Clicky Von Wheeler, which is how we decide what we're going to talk about on next week's episode. Hopefully you can be here for next week's episode, but if not, hopefully the one after that.
All
Either
right.
way, we'll get you back here soon.
Sounds good.
And we want to thank Gregg for
Yes.
for finally being able to make it to the show and again completing our 3-man booth.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, normally
nice to be
just
your
have-
coachman.
Normally we have an invisible chair that we talk to, and it's really weird.
It gets
Also,
makes
that
sense.
doesn't happen.
Oh.
All right, so
Make
ladies
it
and
up.
gentlemen, making
like
his way to the show, Clicky Von Wheeler.
What?
Yeah, so here's the thing that you don't know. Jesse and I wanted to do a show and have a show, and then we realized what we really want is a prize wheel to spin.
Yeah. Who wouldn't?
And so we got one, and it's Clicky Von Wheeler, and Clicky Von Wheeler has an assortment of things on here.
Yes, assortment of topics.
Yes, topics, and these are all little cutesy clues to what the topic's going to be, and we're going to find out what it is. Since it's your first time here, Greg, why don't you give Clicky Von Wheeler a good spin and determine next week's topic?
Ready?
Go for it. Just, a real
Clockwise
good-
or counterclockwise?
Let me
whatever
grab
you
a bone
want.
of these
I want to
things.
grab one of the pegs and give it a real good spin. Go for it.
I like how that runs.
Yeah. It's so satisfying.
Survey says the Showcase of the Immortals.
Okay.
J-Mac, Jesse, why don't you go ahead and explain how that one's going to work for next week?
At WrestleMania 25 and 26, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had a pair of amazing matches, and we are going to talk a little bit about the matches themselves and the lead up to them.
Wait,
Yep.
really? They had amazing matches?
Oh, I mean,
It's actually
absolutely
legit.
incredible.
Yeah.
And to mention, that's going to be the Showcase of the Immortals will be one of the topics on here that's sort of reoccurring. Where
Yes.
we're basically going to talk about the matches from the era, post John Cena's debut to the present, that were just incredible matches that maybe you forgot about,
Yes.
that Greg doesn't even know about.
Right.
And for example, didn't know that HBK and Taker have had matches like that, but recently.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I just knew Taker was where matches go to die
Yeah.
when I watched. And I figured as he got older, it would just get worse.
No, they've gotten better.
Well, it got better for a short time,
Yes.
and then went so far downhill that it's sad.
But that's another story for another time.
Yes.
We do have to go. Please follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/thenNowWhenever, on Twitter, thenNowWhenever. And one last thing.
Thank you.
One last thing. So obviously we like to be a little bit ridiculous. We want to have.
you?
We want, but you know what we want to do here? We want to help you with your life, whether in as honest and serious of a way as possible, or maybe we'll just ruin your life. So here's what we're gonna do. If you're on Twitter or if you're on our Facebook, you can either comment in the videos, okay, and put this hashtag, or on Twitter use the hashtag
Yes.
TNW Advice.
Yes.
The letter TNW Advice.
Yes,
Use
I
the
know.
hashtag TNW Advice. Tell us your situation, or ask us a serious life question, whatever you want. And you know what? We'll pick it out. And next week on the show, we're going to solve all of your problems or ruin your life.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
together.
We'll find out next week on Then, Now, Whenever, which of course comes every week at 9 o'clock on WLVU and Facebook, right after the shows we watch, which is at 8 o'clock. We'll see you next week. Peace out, guys. Oh, and Jesse?
Eat a butt eaters. That's my catchphrase.
Is it really?
I'm afraid so. That's how I end the shows now. Because the first